Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is Saturday, May 31st, 2025. Let us take this video to discuss about how the Department of State Service, a Department of Security, or I should say Security Department of Nigeria, that have the burden of investigating and bringing peace to the state, but they are building Islamic schools and commissioning Islamic schools. So that is what I wanted to discuss in this video. However, yesterday there is something that happens that I don't even know what transpired. All my devices, 4 of them, should I say they lost access to internet? They could not connect neither to mobile network or to Wi-Fi network. So it was strange to me, and it happens that all the videos that I wanted to post yesterday, I could not post it again. This thing is just strange to me. And it happened while I was in a meeting. I was in a meeting on Zoom, and I was prepared for that important meeting yesterday before this thing happened. So it was so painful, and I needed to take these devices for checkup. Let me know if there is something wrong with it. But before the daybreak, they connected back again. I don't know what happened. So maybe I need to get another one. But that was what happened yesterday, because you can see that I did not post a lot of information that are vital that I ought to post yesterday. So that is apart. Let's focus on the issue of a Department of State Service, DSS, on building Islamic schools and donating it to people. Yes, that is very bad. It's condemnable. But let's look at this. Who am I to condemn it when someone like the Sultan of Sokoto are already applauding them? That what they did is a very good thing to build Islamic school, because Nigeria is a perceived Islamic state. What is the business with the Department of State Service to building Islamic school? You see, there are so many things happening in Nigeria that ordinary people will not see it as a wrong thing. And such a thing is this, that a security department, be it military, you don't have business in building schools. You don't have business in building a religious school, not just school, a religious school. Now, if you have excess money in your department through taxpayers' money, I think you have a lot of things to do with it. We complain about border drones. We complain about, the other day there was, that was last week, there was this suicide bombing in Abuja. You people should buy equipment to detect all this, insecurity situation, to curb it. However, I don't know, as they always say that the armed forces are colluding with armed bandits. This is very bad. Now, how do you want other people to feel in Nigeria? How do you want them to feel? That DSS abandon their duty to start building schools. These people are not Ministry of Education. They have nothing to do with building of schools. So, in a situation like this, I wonder why Nigerians are keeping quiet. However, this is what I got from News Central Television. Take a listen.
In a country battling record inflation, mass unemployment, and growing insecurity, the Department of State Services, the DSS, has just built and commissioned a Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center for Islamic Studies in Kaduna. Let that sink in. The nation's top intelligence agency, whose job is to counter terrorism, espionage, and internal sabotage, is now in the business of constructing religious education centers named after a sitting president. If this doesn't raise red flags about the misuse of state power, blurred lines between religion and governance, and creeping authoritarianism, what will? This is not about Islam, it's about institutional integrity, about boundaries, about a security agency straying from its constitutional mandate. Why is the DSS funded by taxpayers' money building a religious center? Why now? And why name it after President Tinubu? Nigeria is a secular state, yet we are watching the dangerous politicization of faith and the creeping use of national institutions for soft propaganda. What message does this send to millions of Christians, traditionalists, and even Muslims who see through this tokenism? Is the DSS now a developer of religious infrastructure or an intelligence agency? Worse still, this comes at a time when Nigerians are buckling under the weight of economic hardship, hunger, and fear. Citizens can afford food, electricity is a luxury, and insecurity remains rampant. Against this backdrop, the decision by a national security agency to commission a religious center named after the president feels not just tone deaf, but deeply insulting. It reeks of privilege and detachment from the daily struggles of ordinary Nigerians. We're not against interfaith gestures or community development, but it must come from the right quarters. If the DSS has the bandwidth to build schools, why not build a forensic lab to track terrorists or intelligence facilities to combat banditry? Good morning, Nigerians.
All right. I am glad that the new Central Television shows concern about what is going on in Nigeria, so that such a thing will be a direct message to the people, understanding the trends in Nigeria. I say to ordinary people, this is nothing. They will not see it as anything. Okay? They won't see it as anything. Now, I see a lot of, governors in the north building mosque. I don't have problem with that. It is their state. So it's what they believe in. I see so many governors like Akwa Ibom State in the south. They build churches. They build church for the people. They call it a communica center. I don't have problem with that. It is their own way. But when it comes to a nation, and you say this state is a secular state, you see the reason why I am saying all these things is just for me to let you know that we all are living in illusion. We are living in illusion. Now, when it comes to the federal, before, I always condemn Nigeria sending people to Jerusalem, sending people to Mecca and all those things. They said they want to balance religion, send this one and send this one. Who are the people sending the Jewish minority, the traditional believers, who are still sending them to elsewhere? Nobody. Okay? Now, it has come to the agency of the government, building Islamic school. Abba, this is totally condemnable. So if you don't see anything wrong with it, meaning you don't know where you are coming from and you don't know where Nigeria is going, it's totally condemnable. And I think if Nigeria is a country that knows what they are doing, anybody who does that should be sacked immediately. But how can you do that? You forget that your president, vice president are all Muslims. So maybe this is the benefit. They will tell them now, you see, we have Islamic school. This is the benefit of Muslim tickets. I'm just thinking loud, but it is condemnable. EFCC should have ventured into that. Sorry, DSS should not have ventured into building Islamic schools. This thing is going to, leave a very bad mark. That is apart. No wonder Kunde Olawumi, former Nigeria Defense Intelligence Agency director, said, and I quote, that the DSS is aware of the sponsors of the insecurity in Nigeria. DSS, all the officials are aware of, every insecurity operatives going on in Nigeria. That NIA is aware, DIA is aware. He said this on Channels Television and national television. So if they are aware, they are not fighting all these things, but they are, bent to building Islamic school, is the same thing that we have been saying right from time, that these people are colluding. So I think that is the right word to use, that these people are colluding. It is very bad. It is condemnable. I am not happy. I personally am not happy, but all these things does not move me again, because I know that this country is heading to a place that it will never be redeemable. So I said with time without number, Nigeria is irredeemable. Now, if you want to leave all these things to talk about other current situations going on, you hear recently that Tinubu is about to borrow 21 billion, and ask yourself a question. EFCC just reported to us that they recovered close to 1 trillion naira. That is 900 and something billion US dollar. What happens to that money? Why is the government trying to borrow just 21 billion? That will leave you with lots of questions for you to understand where we are as a nation. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video.